What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we got the Michigan versus USC preview. Gonna be going over everything you guys need to know about this matchup, including the keys to the game, key players, key matchups, key statistics, and all of that good stuff, plus what exactly both teams have to do in order to win this game. And I tell you what, there are a few matchups I am excited to watch in this game that is really going to determine the outcome of this game. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into it here. Coming in, obviously Michigan 2-1. Their only loss is to the #1 team in the country, which is Texas. USC coming in 2-0. They are coming off of a bye week. They beat LSU 27-20 in a very good game, and then they beat Utah State 48-0 in week 2. Michigan, on the other hand, is coming off of a 28-18 win over Arkansas State, which the score doesn't really tell really how the game went. Michigan probably should have won this 28-3, but the third stringers, fourth stringers let up late touchdowns. And while Michigan's offense looked a lot better in the first half, in the second half, Michigan really left the game with more questions than answers, as they obviously had to make a switch at quarterback from Davis Warren to Alex Orji, and that's who we'll be seeing starting in this game against USC. And that's really what I want to start here with, previewing this Michigan offense going up against this USC defense, what exactly Michigan needs to do. And I think it's pretty clear. They got to be able to run the ball, don't make mistakes, don't turn the ball over. That is going to be absolutely huge, and they got to win in the trenches. I think this is going to be one of the most intriguing matchups to watch, is this Michigan run game and offensive line going up against this new USC style of defense and against this USC defensive line. Now, USC's defense, it has been a big surprise to a lot of people in college football, in particular of how fast it changed and how fast, they got better at playing defense. They brought in D'Anton Lynn, who runs a Raven-style type of defense, kind of like how Michigan has ran their defense with Mike McDonald and Jesse Minter the past 3 years. That's basically what it is, and that's basically what USC has turned into. And when you look at USC's defense, their secondary is very good. However, their pass rush has not been good this season so far. In the LSU game, the pass rush really struggled. 6 pressure snaps on 38 LSU dropbacks. Now, the secondary, really helped them out. That secondary is really good. So regardless of USC's defense, though, as far as the passing game for Michigan, they just need to avoid interceptions. And I know this USC defense might be trying to sell out on the run early in the game. They're going to want to make Alex Orji throw the ball against them. If they're going to lose this game, they're going to make Alex Orji throw the ball. At least that's what they're going to try to do. So I think Michigan, they need to get to 3rd and short situations, maybe early in the game, get Alex Orji settled in, make him complete some short intermediate throws that he can handle, maybe take a downfield shot. He almost connected to Frederick Moore in the Arkansas State game last week. It was very close. So if he could connect on a deep field shot early in the game when USC's defense is selling out, that would definitely scare this USC defense. But the matchup really is going to be between USC's run defense versus Michigan's rushing offense. And the keys for Michigan is to play bully ball offensively. If they can get downhill in the run game, and not to mention Alex Orji, he's going to be another dimension that this USC defense has to account for in the running game. So I think you're going to see a lot of read options, a lot of extra tight ends, extra offensive linemen, and Michigan is really going to test this USC defensive line, and they're just going to, want to drag USC into playing their style of game. They're going to want to out-physical them. They're going to want to win the turnover battle, the field position battle, the time of possession battle, basically getting back to their blueprint of success that they've had the past 3 years. And it starts with the offensive line and that run game. And Alex Orji in this game, I don't believe he has to make that many throws. He just has to make enough throws, to keep the chains moving. So that's going to be the biggest matchup in this game. And I know a lot of people, think USC is going to come in here, handle business, kind of like Texas did. But I'm just going to say Michigan made a lot of mistakes in that Texas game. They had 3 turnovers. Their offense, gave this Texas offense, a lot of short fields to work with. Their defense was gassed in the whole first half because the offense wasn't putting together and sustaining long drives. And that's going to be another key for this Michigan offense, putting together long drives and really special teams. Obviously, USC has, their dynamic returner out of Zachariah Branch. Punting has been an issue for Michigan. They have Tommy Doman. He's a very good punter. He's just been struggling in the first 3 games, I feel like. So Michigan has to win the field position battle, the turnover battle, all of that stuff. And they're going to want to out-physical this USC defense. But it's going to be tough, to score points. Right now, this USC defense only letting up 10 points per game. They just pitched a shutout against Utah State. LSU only scored 20 points. However, Michigan, they just did start to get their running game really going last week as they had 301 rushing yards. And in the first 2 games of the season, they only had 228. So third down conversions going to be crucial. Same thing with the Michigan defense. They got to get off the field. And that's the next thing I wanted to talk about is this USC offense versus the Michigan defense. And really, I would say for USC, they just have to follow what Texas did against Michigan. Now, granted, like I said, Texas offense did have a lot of short fields to work with. They had like 4 short fields to work with early in the first half. Michigan's defense was gassed. So if USC can do the same thing that what Texas did, forcing turnovers, creating a short field for their offense, they have the same type of personnel on offense to do what Texas did. They have a pretty good quarterback out of Miller Moss who has been very impressive really to start out the season. They obviously have the explosive playmaker of Zachariah Branch. They have Lake McCree, the tight end, Kyron Hudson, Jacoby Lane. Lincoln Riley always has a really good offense. As far as running back, USC has Woody Marks, Quinton Joyner, and as far as Michigan offensively, they have to stuff the run at the line. That's going to be key, and really Michigan has done a very good job of stopping the run this season so far. The challenge is going to be, whether or not Wink Martindale doesn't blitz as much as he did in that Texas game. If he doesn't blitz as much and this defense kind of turns into a more of a bend up but don't break type of defense, that's going to force USC to really fight for their points, and I think that's the best way to go. But Wink Martindale, he loves to be aggressive, and that's really my worry right now because, you're not going to want to blitz as much against this USC offense, especially with Lincoln Riley's, offense. But one of the biggest things for this Michigan defense, we saw it in the Texas game, they got to get off on third downs. They had multiple third downs, and it was kind of third and longs as well. I mean, there was times where it's like, okay, we're going to get off the field, and then Texas just exploited the defense and picked up a first down. It was screen passes. It was, just recognizing the blitz coming and then tossing it out to the halfback, and he's got a wide open lane with no defender there to tackle him before he picks up the first down. So it's really the same type of things Michigan has to prevent that happened to them in the Texas game. And for USC, they want to follow that Texas blueprint that they really set up for them. Now, USC does have a big offensive line, 320-pound average weight. However, USC's run blocking, 1.52 yards before contact per carry. So I think Michigan will be able to stop the run, especially with Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant. But, I think the main question mark is, can Michigan, contain the quarterback? They had issues with that in Quinn Ewers. Can they get in situations where it's like a 3rd and 7, 3rd and long, an obvious passing situation, and then maybe take out Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, give them a breather, and whether or not they can get off the field on third downs and create turnovers. This defense, that's going to be huge. If they can create turnovers, which they haven't really been able to, create turnovers much besides the Fresno State game, really, that's going to be key. Now, one thing to look out for, it is Miller Moss's first road game, so it's going to be his first major test in the Big House, and if Michigan can get pressure on the quarterback, that could disrupt his rhythm. So it's going to be interesting to see, both sides, both matchups really, Michigan's offense versus the USC defense, then USC's offense against Michigan's defense. It's going to be interesting. I think both teams can win this one. I think USC, probably has a better chance of the way they looked, but if Michigan cleans up their mistakes, if they play discipline on defense, don't commit as many penalties, don't turn the ball over. If they can bring USC in and play their type of game and really bully them in the trenches, they're going to have a shot to win this one, no doubt. So it's going to be interesting to see. Michigan's going to want to out-physical USC, and I think they could potentially do that in this one. Let me know in the comment section down below your guys' predictions for this one, your score predictions, how you see this game going, and what Michigan or USC has to do in order to win this one. I think this could be a low scoring game. I feel like a score prediction is probably going to be somewhere between like a 24-21 type of game if Michigan wins this one. If USC wins this one, I could see a score of like 28-20 or 28-17. So it's going to be interesting. I do think this game's going to be closer than the Michigan-Texas game. I don't think it'll be a blowout by halftime like it was against the Texas game. I think Michigan will have a shot to potentially win this one, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to if they play disciplined, mistake-free football, if they're able to run the ball and out physical USC and really play up to their blueprint for success. If they do that, they can win this game. But it's going to be interesting. I'm excited for Saturday. A Big Ten opening showdown between USC and Michigan. Going to be a big game for both teams, but probably a bigger game for this Michigan team already having a loss on the season. But with that, that's going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. And other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.